everyone, and welcome to another Moufpiece movie review. Today we are doing the horror movie, or it would be horror. It's like torture porn.
Definitely a horror movie.
Torture porn as my favorite. American Mary, and we watched this on Shudder, I believe.
Yes.
Which, if you don't have Shudder, if you're a horror fan, you should have it.
$4.99 a month. Why do you not have this?
Yeah, seriously, if you like horror movies that much, it's worth your time. Because even like the cheesy B movies are super fun most of the time. But yeah, so American Mary, it's about this this young woman who is a medical student. She's going to be a surgeon, and she's going to school to be a surgeon, and she's a promising student.
Yes, Mary, played by Catherine Isabelle.
Yeah, she's honestly she's great, but we'll get to her performance. So the storyline essentially is her being a medical student, and she goes to this party and experiences something traumatic. I guess you could just say sexual assault. They allude to that in the... So
she, being the bright student that she is, catches the eye of her professor, who invites her to this prestigious party, and yeah, something terrible, an assault happens to her and completely changes her outlook on life. Now keep in mind that young Mary is strapped for cash, but promising in her field.
Yeah.
So she's trying to do pretty much anything for money.
Yes, so, and she essentially goes into the body modification realm. We can say that much without it giving anything away. Mm-hmm. She strays from surgeon to body modification, which still has very similar health concerns, I'd say, as someone who goes into surgery. So
this could have easily been a spin-off of the old FX show Nip Tuck.
Oh man, yeah, I didn't even think of that, but yeah, that's actually not a bad comparison.
Only difference is she didn't have anybody to anchor her back into reality.
Yeah, she just kind of spirals in this underground world. And something that I did like about this movie was how they give viewpoints from like something that's happening in your head versus something that's actually happening. Every once in a while there would be something that happens and then it's like, oh shit, that didn't really happen. That was just like how it played out in someone's head. And that part was kind of cool. It didn't detract from the movie. I think it kind of added to it and gave you something to look forward to and something to draw you back into the storyline. Like, oh shit, that could have happened, you know?
Now, in this movie, this is directed by the Solska sisters.
Yes, who I believe are in the movie, right?
They do show up in the movie.
Yeah.
And the way this was made, I don't know if Catherine Isabelle was just that great of an actress or if they're that good at what they do.
Seriously,
but it really does make me want to go and watch more of their movies because you can see the life in this woman get completely drained out and morphed into something very dark.
Her transition from the beginning of the movie to after she's like soiled and enters into this lifestyle and this world is very noticeable, and I think she does an excellent job portraying
she portrayed this amazingly.
Yeah.
This is one of those, why are you doing this good of a job in this clearly B movie?
It was a B movie, but it was really good. I'd watch it again.
It really blurs the lines between what should be right there in the upper echelon in horror movies and what should be a B movie.
Yeah, because we just watched some scary movies like The Conjuring, and that was fucking terrible. And their budget was way better than this. I mean, I know it's a different genre, but just like that horror, scary movie zone in general,
and
it
to
goes
be honest,
show you.
And to be honest, everybody knows how I feel about those kind of movies. This one had almost the same amount of fatalities, but the way they were done and the way it was portrayed, what she's going through while this is happening, this is some top level stuff. And it had no reason to be this good.
They make you care about the characters. The characters are quirky as well. They have a bunch of all the characters in the movie except for like the professor and people of his prestige are pretty quirky.
Paula Lindbergh, who played Ruby Real Girl.
Oh my god, I freaking Ruby was fun, but Beatrice was my favorite.
When Ruby Real Girl shows up and Beatrice, both of them, when you see them, you expect like a gaudy, terribly acted, like Harley Quinn-esque performance.
But looking at them, yes, you would think that.
You would think you would get trash, but no. They give you some solid performances, and when you see them, you just don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, I love Beatrice. You're so funny. Talk to Mary.
Like,
I just love her so much.
Like, you think you're looking at these one-dimensional characters, and they give you depth to them.
They do. And the storyline, even the ending, like, I'm a sucker for a gruesome ending and for an ending to not be happy. Usually, if the ending isn't happy, I will usually be satisfied, because I'm just sick like that. But the ending made it even better for me, how the story played out. And it was even realistic, like, to how I think things could really fucking happen. The storyline
definitely
was very easy to follow, relatable, and overall pretty good. The graphics were fun. I liked it was graphic, but also kind of conservative in some ways.
It actually was way more conservative than it needed to be. Again, for this kind of movie, you would expect nothing but like ass and titties all over the place. You would expect just the annoying abundance of curse words and annoying screaming, but it didn't give you that. It gave you exactly what you needed.
Yeah. I think it was well done. The story was well done. The graphics were well done. Even everything that they showed, they were more practical, I'd say. I don't remember there being really like CGI like that.
There was some.
A little bit, but...
And we even got a, which again, we didn't need, but I'm glad it was there. There was a bit of a, it's never gonna happen love story going on.
Yes, the love story was unexpected, but it didn't detract again from the film or the storyline.
And honestly, at first you're like, maybe they just left some pieces out because I don't feel like this character felt this way about this character. And then they show the scene like, oh, they do.
Yeah.
They do feel that way. Okay.
Yeah. And it kind of does play on like normal human reactions. Like, you wouldn't think that someone would respond a certain way to be based off their relationship, but they do. And you wouldn't think that you would respond a certain way until you're put in that situation and you're like, oh shit, I guess I kind of care.
I tell you what, nobody has a poker face like Mary.
That bitch ain't to be played with.
But yeah, so for performances, for the overall story, how this whole thing packaged together, I am going to give it, I would say 7 out of 10.
I was going to give it a 7.5. So yeah, no, I agree with you. I very much enjoyed the movie. I'm a little biased because it's one of my favorite genres. Like, torture porn is my jam. I think if they would have shown a little bit more and been a little bit more graphic, then it would have been a home run for me. I probably would have given it a higher score. It wasn't needed, but that's just my preference. If they would have given us some really good scenes where I could have seen someone being cut into, or just like seeing the transformation, then I think I really would have been into it more, but it was still enjoyable.
If they would have shown the person getting their comeuppance instead of just the after effect, you would have been happy. That's
true. Yeah, like just a little more torture, and you would have hit me with a home run. So honestly, 7.5 is kind of low. I would say 7.5 to 8 for me, but
yeah, 7 for me, because there's always room to grow. There were places they could have fixed, but overall, it's hard to say anything bad about this thing because, again, they were just acing it.
So if you're into movies like Hostel or Saw or anything that has like that torture style, or even if you liked Nip Tuck, this movie would be very much in your realm. It's definitely horror with a good storyline, with good acting, and I'd say definitely worth your time. American Mary.
All right. Well, yeah, I've been Nick P. from Moufpiece Entertainment.
And this is Diana.
Peace.